we get started, I just wanted to talk about the sponsor of this video, Dose. I got my hands on their new Soundbox Pro portable Bluetooth speaker. This has been a godsend for when we're hiking. It's really cool because it has this little extra bass button which you can click and it makes the sound really boom. The LED lights that light up around the edge here, they sync with your music and they give it this cool bouncing effect. The speaker is water resistant, which is awesome because when we're outside, we kind of don't want to worry about anything getting wet or getting ruined. And this pops perfectly into the side of my backpack, which is awesome. And it fits right in this little pocket. So if you're interested in this, right now, the speaker is only $45 and you can click the link down in my description to check that out. The second thing is I always bring my cell phone and I always make sure that it is charged. You should bring your cell phone that has GPS navigation in it, and it usually always works. Even if you don't have service, your GPS will bring up the map most of the time. And I think that's really safe, or you can get a little GPS device, which is also amazing and will work anywhere without any service, which is great. We always bring my camera. So we're always bringing this camera 99% of the time. Sometimes we won't, but we always like to bring a camera. You don't need this, you can just use your phone, of course, but I think it's always amazing to get pictures of nature, get pictures of yourself in nature. I use the Canon 80D, and this is an 18 to 35 millimeter Sigma Art lens. This lens is amazing. It's really heavy, so it's not really ideal for hiking, but we bring it anyways because it is amazing. And what I do is I usually take a t-shirt or something, I wrap it, and I place it in my backpack. And it's okay. I mean, it makes the backpack a little bit heavier, but honestly, it's worth it. Next up, I have this little charger. So this can charge your phone, I believe, like 5 times over. I think we got these off Amazon. You can find them anywhere, but this also charges via the sun. So anytime that you need to charge something, you can lay this out in the sun and it will recharge your phone or any other little electronics that you have. And I think it's always safe to carry one of these on you just in case. In the world that we live in now, having your cell phone charged, not for, you know, personal use, but for just in case of emergencies is really, really important. And of course, you never know when your phone's gonna die. So bringing one of these is a really good idea. Next up is this flashlight here. Now you don't need to bring one of these, of course. This thing is really, really cool. It's Damon's. So it's by the brand Braun. It's a really good flashlight. It's super, super bright. It has one setting, lower setting, and then the top of it goes. So it's just a really cool little flashlight. Any flashlight will do, honestly. This is a rechargeable one, so you can, right there, you can plug it into, again, this in case it runs out. It's always good to have a good flashlight on you, one that works, one that's fully charged or can be recharged. So yeah, a good flashlight is always good to have while you're hiking. I forgot to mention this little tripod, which we don't bring all the time, but sometimes we bring it, especially if we want to get pictures of both of us, because Damon takes 99% of my photos and he can never be in them, which kind of sucks. So we bring this and we can set it up. This thing wraps around trees and stuff, so it's really good to have if you want to do tripod style pictures but don't want to take a full tripod with you. Clothing wise, of course, depending on the weather entirely is what you're going to be personally wearing. But what I always make sure to bring is a few things. A hat, first off. I always bring this cap with me. It's like my go-to hat to keep the sun out of your face, to protect your head. I don't know, you always should just have a nice hat with you. If it's colder out, then a beanie or a, you know, winter hat would be good. It's a must, of course, something really, really warm. But yeah, always to have a hat on you to protect your head. You should bring a rain shell. So this is one that I got off of Amazon. This will not only be a good insulator, but it also keeps all moisture out. So always bring your rain shell. It also folds up really, really small, that you can really tighten it up and just put it at the bottom of your backpack just in case, even if it's not raining or there's no rain in the forecast or anything. I really would always just bring a rain shell just in case. Next, I have sunglasses. So of course, if you bring a hat, I guess you would be okay, but it's always good to have sunglasses on. I don't know, bring your sunglasses. Next up is an extra pair of socks. When you're hiking, your feet most likely will get wet, or if your feet sweat a lot. And what happens with that is friction starts to happen and you will get blisters. So if you're going on like a 2-mile hike, you don't need an extra pair of socks usually. But if you're going on something like 8 or 9 miles, it's uphill, it's rocky and muddy and wet, you might want to bring an extra pair of socks just in case, because blisters can be a real. So you want to keep your feet nice and dry, maybe switch them out every 5 miles or something like that. But again, if you're just doing a short hike, you might not need these. Okay, let's go on to what products I bring with me for like on my skin, my topical products. The first thing is, of course, sunblock. You want to bring sunblock with you because you need to protect your skin. What you don't realize is you will be outside for many hours. So just because it's not super sunny out that day doesn't mean that you won't need to protect your skin, or I mean, it might be shaded in the area that you're going, but essentially you just want to bring sunblock with you to help protect your skin. This, I don't even know what brand it is. It's probably a terrible brand. Oh, cool. I did not even see that. We got this in Portugal, and I'm very surprised that it has the Leaping Bunny on there, which is awesome. So maybe it's an alright brand. So we have this chapstick that actually has sunblock in it, which is really good. We usually bring a few chapsticks because I am a chapstick addict. But yeah, it's really good to have, again, some chapstick with sunblock in it. Protect your lips, protect your skin for bugs. Now, we usually don't use any bug spray, but if we do use anything, it's usually just essential oils. So you can use like lemongrass oil, citrus oils, I think really repel citronella, things like that. So you can look up a combination on your own. What you should do is you should dilute them. So there's a recipe. I'll link the recipe down in the description for you guys. But it's basically like rubbing alcohol, like witch hazel, and water, and then the essential oils. And you can put it in a tiny little spray bottle, like a little glass spray bottle that you can get basically anywhere off Amazon something. And then there you go. Or you could even just put it in any container and just rub it all over you. You'll probably always want to dilute your essential oils before putting them on your skin, just so that you don't like burn your skin or anything. All right, next up, I'm going to talk about food and what we bring food-wise. So if the hike is gonna only be a couple of hours, we usually just bring some snacks. We'll eat big beforehand and then bring some nice dense snacks with us. So of course you can bring fruit. Fruit is the best thing. Any kind of fruit that's not gonna get smushed. Bananas sometimes get smushed, so be careful. You can bring dried fruit, dates, any kind of, you know, fruits, whatever. And then next, we like to bring, you can bring just like nuts and seeds and things like that in a little container, but we like to bring these Go Macro bars. We love Go Macro bars. They are absolutely delicious. Just the cleanest ingredients. They're jam-packed with all kind of good things. Of course, they're vegan. But yeah, so we bring some bars, we bring some fruit. Now, if it's a really long hike, we will Tupperware a meal. So we will Tupperware something like oatmeal or pasta or sandwiches or something more dense, a bigger meal, so that we can have that along with these snacks. So depending on how long your hike is or how hard your hike is, how much fuel you'll think you need, always try to overpack, because essentially you're gonna probably want more, not less. It's always the worst when you don't have enough food and you're not feeling good during your hike. So always remember to fuel up big time before your hike, fuel up a lot during your hike so you can feel your best while you're hiking. And then of course you're gonna wanna bring water. So we use these Hydro Flasks. You can get any off-brand on Amazon. The Hydro Flasks are a little bit pricey. I really do like them. They have held up really well, but we have a few off-brand Hydro Flasks or double insulated containers off of Amazon that were cheaper. They've held up okay so far, but I really do like Hydro Flasks. Usually we will just bring one of these if it's a shorter hike. If it's a longer hike, we have a backpack that has a bladder in it. So it's this big container that holds something like, I don't know, like 4 of these in there basically, but it just slides right in your backpack, and then it has this tube that comes out, and as you're hiking you don't need to get this out, which this can be a hassle to get in and out and in and out, but you can just kind of use the little mouthpiece and you drink out of it, which is really cool. And that came in handy a lot when we were in Portugal doing like really long hikes. So that was great. The next thing I want to go over is something that's completely a personal choice, but something that we think is important and something that we've always brought on our hikes is a knife. I don't have the knife. Damon has the knife and he's still sleeping. I'll pop it in here if I can remember. But we just bring a hand knife with us just in case, not just for self-defense, but just general use, just in case we need it. We have never had to use it, but again, it's always good to have it as a precaution, I think. But that again is just my personal choice. It's entirely up to you whether you bring one or not. Next, you always want to bring some money, just in case. I don't know what for, as if you'll use money out in nature, but I think it's important just to have it on you just in case. And your ID, in case anything happens to you, you want to have your ID on you. The next thing I want to talk about with safety is not something that you specifically need to bring with you, but something that you need to do before you start your hike, and that is to tell a few people what hike you're going on, what time you're going there, and when you think you'll be back. I think it's really important to let people know where you're going, whether it's a well-known hike or a hike that nobody would know where you're at. You need to give them the exact location, the exact trail route that you're taking, just in case you get lost or you can't be found or something. It'll be so easy for someone to find you, know exactly where you're at, and come help you. And the very last thing that I think is super important that you have to take with you is somebody else. Don't go hiking alone. It's not worth it. So many crazy things can happen to you while you're hiking. You could fall, you could get lost, and it's always better to have someone with you there to help you if something happens. It's just a much safer thing. I don't think it's a good idea to go on hikes by yourself. I forgot one last thing. I don't know how I forgot this, but toilet paper. So we follow, and I would hope that everyone would follow, the leave no trace method, but a lot of people don't. So most of the time our hikes are short enough that we usually don't have to go number 2, but we will usually have to go number 1. I don't usually use toilet paper out in the wilderness if I'm going pee, because I usually just kind of squat and pee and drip dry. Is that gross? Probably. So I don't usually use this toilet paper ever, really. But in any chance that you do, you don't want to leave your toilet paper out in the wilderness. So you can bring a little baggie with you, like a brown baggie or something, and after you use the toilet paper, put it in the brown bag or have a compartment in your thing. Just, you want to put it somewhere and take it with you and dispose of it yourself. You never want to leave anything in the forest, even if it's just toilet paper that you think is going to like degrade into the ground or something like that. It will essentially, but I just believe in that, the no trace type of thing. All right guys, that is the end of my video. I don't think that I forgot anything. I think I covered the bases pretty well. If I did forget anything, or if you guys have any suggestions on what you bring in your backpack while you're hiking, leave them down in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys for the next video.